Yesterday, unfortunately, we saw again the continued Russian atrocities committed in Ukraine. We witnessed the bombing of a civilian shelter in the theater building in Mariupol, a city which continues to be besieged by Russian forces. This siege is inhuman and the bombardment continues of the city of Mariupol. This is reprehensible. This constitutes serious and grave violation of international humanitarian law, and the siege has to be lifted. The bombardment and the attacks against civilians in Mariupol have to stop, and the same goes for the entire aggression by Russian forces on the Ukrainian territory. Yesterday also brought two important events on the international stage that further underline the isolation of Kremlin in its aggression against Ukraine and further underline also the illegality of this aggression. So first, the International Court of Justice ordered Russia to immediately suspend its military operations, which started exactly 3 weeks ago on the Ukrainian territory. This order has binding effect on Russia under international law. The court stated that it was not in possession of evidence substantiating the allegations of the Russian Federation that genocide has been committed on Ukrainian territory. You might remember that this absurd argumentation was used by Putin in order to justify the invasion of Ukraine. Russia has no right under the Genocide Convention and the UN Charter to resort to unilateral use of force in the territory of another state for the purpose of preventing an alleged genocide. And the court's order can therefore be interpreted as clearly rejecting Putin's justification for the invasion under the international law. So when it comes to Putin's aggression against Ukraine and its people, he already lost morally. Now he is losing also legally, and his isolation internationally is increasing. Also yesterday, the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe decided to terminate the membership of Russian Federation in this organization, in the Council of Europe. With its unprovoked and unjustified aggression against Ukraine, Russia violated the fundamental principles of the Council of Europe Statute, the UN Charter and the international law. As the High Representative Borrell said also in his corresponding statement on this issue, as a result of Kremlin's behavior, Russian citizens now, unfortunately, will no longer benefit from the protections granted by the European Convention of Human Rights, nor be able to take their cases or the cases of violation of their human rights in Russia and by Russia to the European Court of Human Rights. This is highly concerning and yet another restriction of Russian citizens' rights, which was caused by Putin's reckless policies. We urge the Russian Federation to rapidly return to compliance with international law, in particular with international human rights and international humanitarian law.